Hello, fellow StarCraft 2 players, and welcome to another IMBAbuilds guide. This time around, we're going to be looking at the gas-first Banshee build in TVT, and it's a variation on the other Banshee build that you can see, which is the barracks-first Banshee build, except this one is a little bit less economical because you get an earlier gas geyser, and thus you have less people mining minerals. However, it gets the Banshee out about 30 seconds earlier, so it's a more aggressive variant of the other one. Like all builds, however, it's going to open with the same default 10 depot, which is starting right here. And because you are going for a gas opening of any sort, you really can't afford the lost mining time if you scout before 13 or 14-ish supply. So with this build, you really can't do a depot timing scout at all, and so you're just going to have to send this guy back to mine minerals, just like after he finishes the depot. So here we go. On 12 supply, when you have 75 minerals, you get to start the gas geyser, because it's the gas first variant. And then as soon as you get 150 minerals at 13 supply, you're going to throw down that barracks, just like every other build that does gas first. Now, another thing to note is because you're not going to have that second depot for a very long time, actually, I think your factory goes down before the second depot is even started, walling off is kind of excessive. So building this barracks somewhere tight in your base where it can't really be harassed very easily is probably the best option, because you're not going to be walling off anyway, so there's no real benefit by building this barracks at the wall. And you might actually lose it to some early attack or some all-in or something like that. So building this not at the wall is always a good thing to do. And as before, don't really scout that early, because you'll see my money's kept very low without scouting at all. So try your best to scout with this guy who finishes the barracks, or some of the pros just wait until the first Hellion to even scout at all. As soon as the barracks finishes, you'll notice you have about 100 gas. Instantly throw down the factory and make that first marine, and then as soon as this SCV finishes, you should have exactly 150 for that orbital. And there you have it. So this right here is going to be the first marine, and this marine you cannot lose, because this marine is literally your entire defense up until you get your Hellion out, which doesn't happen for a long time. So make sure to keep this marine to deny vision of your opponent scouting anything, and as soon as you finish that marine, start the tech lab. Now you start the tech lab on the barracks this time as opposed to on the factory, because in order to speed up the timing of the already fast Banshee, you actually can build the tech lab on this, lift it off, and then it's just in time for this factory to finish and you to start the starport actually on this tech lab. So that you get, as soon as the starport finishes, you can instantly start a Banshee out of it, because it's already attached to the tech lab. It just speeds something up by 5 or so seconds. As soon as this Hellion pops, you build it as soon as the factory finishes, but as soon as the Hellion pops, you get to finally scout, see what's going on, try to take the watchtowers, and make sure that you're not getting all-in or something like this. This Hellion's very important for defending all-ins as well, so really it's your best line of defense versus almost all very early things. For instance, a Reaper or a Marine all-in or something along those lines. This Hellion is really your only defense early game. As soon as that starport finishes, it's already on the tech lab. Instantly start your Banshee, and because you're only on one gas geyser, you should only have exactly 100 gas, so you actually won't be able to afford cloak research right here. So that's fine. This is the non-cloak Banshee opener, but it gets it significantly faster than the other one. The barracks first variation, which actually does get cloak if you want it. And instead, because you've got such a fast Banshee and you don't invest in the second gas geyser, you should have the minerals to, in a second, you'll notice my money starting getting higher and higher and higher and higher. You can then throw down your natural expo at around the 6-minute mark. You see I now have the 400 mins necessary to build that expo. And it's as soon as that Banshee pops. In fact, I'll just continue playing just to see. There you go, that Banshee pop. And basically you can expo immediately, as well as go to the mid game in TVT. Now, once this Banshee is popped, you're really going to want to use it for map control. You can instantly go for the mineral line, but once the person has relocated Marines to deal with the Banshee, if it hasn't been scouted, or once you get like 2 or 3 Marine kills just by kiting the Marines, you're really going to have to take it back and make sure it's repaired, because you don't have the cloak you don't have the versatility that you need to actually fight Marines. You can just kind of like pick some few off before they have combat shields. But that's the benefit. That's the benefit of getting an early Banshee and the problem with not getting Cloak. So just make sure you babysit that Banshee. Another thing that you can do instead of getting the Expo at 400 mins is you can get a tech lab on this factory after that first Hellion, get this reactor on the barracks much earlier, and then go for a Marine Siege Tank Banshee all-in and keep making Banshees where you get the second gas geyser. And that right there is an interesting all-in. If you've scouted one Rax FE, it's a really nice all-in to do, and also if you've done damage with this Banshee, it makes it significantly stronger. Either killing SCVs or killing Marines is always really good with this Banshee, so try to go for those kills as opposed to keep it alive and make sure you just have map control. I believe that's it. Thanks for watching this gas first variation of the Banshee opener in TVT. Just to repeat the exact build, you start off, you get a 10 depot, you get a 12 gas geyser, you get a 13 barracks. You, as soon as the barracks finishes, start orbital, factory, and marine. And then as soon as that marine finishes, you start this tech lab. As soon as the tech lab finishes, you lift off the barracks, and then you start the starport where that barracks was before. And then as soon as the starport finishes, you start your first Banshee. And that, folks, is the build. Thanks for watching.